The father pressed play on the audio recording dated November 3, 2019. Static. Then footsteps. Heavy footsteps moving across the attic floor directly above their bedroom. Then a voice. Not words. Just a low humming sound that made the hair on his arms stand up. His wife grabbed his hand. They'd heard it live at 3:17 a.m. that morning. But hearing it on the recording somehow made it worse. Made it real. Made it undeniable. This was recording number 462. They'd been documenting the noises for 3 years. Every sound. Every footstep. Every voice. Every unexplainable event in their house. 462 recordings. And then on November 4, 2019, something happened that made them understand what the noises were trying to tell them. Before I reveal what they discovered and tell you about other families whose documentation revealed terrifying truths, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button, because what these families recorded will make you question every strange sound you've ever heard in your home. Strange noises in houses are common. Pipes knock. Walls settle. Animals get in attics. Most noises have rational explanations. But some families experience sounds that can't be explained away. Sounds that happen too regularly. Too deliberately. Too intelligently. And some of these families do something most people don't, they document everything. They keep journals. Make recordings. Track patterns. And sometimes, that documentation reveals something that changes everything. These are those families. These are the noises they recorded. And what happened after years of documentation will haunt you forever. Let's go back to the family from the opening. The Morrison family. Jeff and Sarah Morrison with their 2 children, ages 8 and 12. They moved into their house in suburban Connecticut in 2016. Within the first month, they started hearing noises. Footsteps in the attic. Always at night. Always around 3 a.m. Jeff assumed it was an animal. He checked the attic multiple times. Never found anything. No droppings. No nests. No signs of entry. But the footsteps continued. Then they started hearing the humming. A low sound that seemed to come from the walls. Sarah started documenting. She kept a journal with dates, times, descriptions. After 6 months, she noticed a pattern. The footsteps happened every night. But the humming only happened on specific dates. She couldn't figure out what made those dates significant. Then Jeff started making audio recordings. Hundreds of them. The sounds were clear on the recordings. Undeniable. They had an electrician check for electrical issues. A pest control expert check for animals. A home inspector checked the structure. Everyone said the house was fine. No explanations for the sounds. By year 2, the sounds had evolved. They heard voices. Whispers they couldn't quite make out. Sounds like furniture moving when nothing was moving. Doors opening and closing. All documented. All on recordings. The children started hearing things too. The youngest said she heard a woman crying in her closet. The oldest said he heard conversations in the walls. The family was terrified but couldn't afford to move. They'd invested everything in this house. So they kept documenting. Kept recording. Hoping to find an explanation. Then in November 2019, Sarah was reviewing old recordings and noticed something. The humming happened on the 3rd of every month. Always the 3rd. She checked historical records of the house. On November 3, 1987, a woman had died in the house. The previous owner's mother. She'd had a heart attack in the bedroom. Sarah dug deeper. Found that the woman had died at exactly 3:17 a.m. The exact time the footsteps always started. Sarah played the recordings for a paranormal investigator. He analyzed them and found something disturbing. The humming, when slowed down and filtered, contained words. Actual words. The same phrase repeated over and over, "Find me. I'm still here. Find me." The family contacted the previous owner. Asked about the woman who died. The owner broke down. Said his mother hadn't actually died of a heart attack. She'd been murdered. He'd covered it up. Made it look natural. Buried evidence in the house. The guilt had destroyed him. The Morrisons called police. Using the documentation and the previous owner's confession, investigators searched the house. In the walls of the master bedroom, they found jewelry that had been reported stolen in a robbery decades earlier. Found evidence that the woman had been killed by an intruder that the son had let escape to avoid scandal. The case was reopened. The son was arrested. And the noises in the Morrison house stopped. Completely stopped the night the evidence was found. The family lived there 3 more years. Never heard another sound. Sarah still has all 462 recordings. She says the documentation saved them. Gave them proof. Gave them answers. And maybe gave a murdered woman the justice she'd been trying to ask for through those walls for 30 years. Now let me tell you about the Chen family in Oregon who documented noises that predicted the future. They moved into their house in 2015. Started hearing knocking sounds. 3 knocks. Always 3. At random times. They documented every occurrence. After a year, they noticed the knocks seemed to happen before bad events. 3 knocks. Then within 24 hours, something bad would happen. A family member would get sick. A car accident. A job loss. They thought it was coincidence until the pattern became undeniable. The father, David, started recording the knocks and noting what happened afterward. In 3 years, he documented 67 instances where 3 knocks preceded a negative event within 24 hours. He showed the documentation to a statistician. The probability of this being coincidence was astronomically low. Something in the house was warning them. But they couldn't prevent the events. The knocks would happen. They'd brace for something bad. And it always came. Then in 2018, the knocks changed. Instead of 3, they heard 7 knocks. Loud. Urgent. The family panicked. 7 knocks meant something worse was coming. David documented the time, 11:43 p.m. on August 15th. The family stayed up all night. Waiting. At 6 a.m. the next morning, a drunk driver crashed into their neighbor's house. The house directly next to theirs. The car missed their house by 15 feet. If the family had been at the neighbor's house for any reason, they could have been killed. The 7 knocks had been a warning. A bigger warning for a bigger danger. The Chen family still lives in the house. Still hears the knocks. Still documents them. David says they've learned to listen, to take the warnings seriously. He doesn't know what causes the knocks. Doesn't care. He just knows the house is trying to protect them. And the years of documentation proved it wasn't imagination. It was real. Let's talk about the Patterson family in Texas who documented voices that told them to leave. They bought a house in 2012. Beautiful old Victorian. Good price. Within weeks, they heard a woman's voice. Clear as day. Saying, "Leave." Just that one word. At first, they thought it was a neighbor. But the voice came from inside the house. Different rooms. Different times. Always the same voice. Always the same word. Leave. The mother, Karen, started documenting. She made audio recordings. Video recordings. Captured the voice dozens of times. The voice was always the same. Calm. Not angry. Just insistent. Leave. They researched the house history. A woman had lived there in the 1960s. She tried to warn her family about faulty wiring. They'd ignored her. The house caught fire. 3 of her children died. She survived but never recovered from the guilt. The Patterson family had an electrician inspect everything. He found serious issues. Old wiring that was a severe fire hazard. The repairs cost thousands of dollars. But the work was done. The house was safe. And the voice stopped. Karen believes the woman's spirit was trying to prevent another fire. Trying to save another family because she couldn't save her own. The documentation showed the voice was real. Was consistent. Was trying to help. The Pattersons still live there. Haven't heard the voice in years. But Karen keeps the recordings. Says they remind her that not all hauntings are malevolent. Sometimes they're protective. Here's a case that got national attention. The Williams family in Michigan documented scratching sounds for 5 years. Coming from inside the walls. Constant scratching. Pest control found nothing. Demolition experts checked. No animals. No explanation. But the scratching continued. The family documented everything. Recordings. Notes. Patterns. The scratching was loudest in the children's bedroom. The parents considered moving, but the kids loved the house. Loved the neighborhood. So they endured. Then in 2019, the scratching became frantic. Desperate. Louder than ever. The father, Tom, decided to open the wall. He cut into the drywall in the children's room. Inside, he found something that made him call police immediately. A hidden room. A space between walls that wasn't on the blueprints. And in that space, evidence. Personal belongings of a girl who'd gone missing in 2003. 16 years earlier. DNA testing confirmed. The girl had been kept in that hidden room. Had been scratching at the walls trying to escape or signal for help. She'd eventually died there. The previous owner was arrested. Confessed to kidnapping and murder. The scratching the Williams family had heard for 5 years was the echo of that girl's desperate attempts to be found. The documentation led to solving a cold case. Led to bringing a killer to justice. led to giving a family closure 16 years after their daughter disappeared. The Williams family moved out immediately. Couldn't stay in a house where a child had died trying to escape. But they're glad they documented everything. Glad they finally opened that wall. Because a missing girl was finally found. Now let me tell you about the Anderson family who documented sounds that mimicked them. They'd hear their own voices coming from empty rooms. Conversations they'd had earlier played back to them. The father would hear himself talking. The mother would hear herself singing. The children would hear themselves laughing. All coming from rooms no one was in. This went on for 2 years. They documented hundreds of instances. Made recordings that captured their own voices coming from empty spaces. Experts couldn't explain it. Some thought it was psychological. Mass hallucination. But the recordings proved it was real. Then they discovered the cause. The previous owner had installed a sophisticated recording system throughout the house. Hidden microphones in every room. The system would record conversations and play them back at random intervals. It was a security feature that had malfunctioned. But it had been running for years. Recording everything. Playing back fragments. Creating an echo of the family's life. When they found the system and shut it down, the voices stopped. But the violation remained. Years of private conversations recorded. Played back. The family sued the previous owner. Won a settlement. But the damage to their sense of privacy was permanent. The documentation helped their legal case. But it couldn't erase the feeling that their home had been listening to them. Recording them. Throwing their own lives back at them like a twisted mirror. Here's one final case. The Taylor family documented knocking sounds that spelled out messages in Morse code. They didn't realize it at first. Just thought it was random knocking. But after a year of documentation, the father, an amateur radio operator, noticed a pattern. The knocks followed Morse code timing. He decoded the messages. They were warnings. Check the furnace. Fix the roof. Replace the pipes. Specific maintenance instructions. The family followed the advice. Each time, they found actual problems. The furnace had a carbon monoxide leak. The roof had damage that would have caused major leaks. The pipes were corroding. The house was somehow communicating through Morse code, telling them what needed fixing. The family documented this for 3 years. Saved thousands in potential damage. Then the messages changed. Thank you. That was the last message. Then silence. The knocking stopped. The father believes the house was built by a ship captain in the 1920s. A man who would have known Morse code. Maybe his presence was protecting the house. Protecting the family. Making sure his home was maintained. The documentation showed clear patterns. Clear messages. Clear intelligence behind the sounds. The Taylor family still lives there. Still maintains the house meticulously. Hoping the messages will return. Grateful for the years of warnings that saved them from disasters they never saw coming. So here we are. You've heard about the families who documented the strange. The Morrisons, who recorded sounds that led to solving a murder. The Chens, whose knocks predicted disasters. The Pattersons, whose voice warned them about fire hazards. The Williams family, whose scratching led to finding a missing girl. The Andersons, who discovered they were being recorded. The Taylors, who received maintenance instructions in Morse code. These families didn't ignore the noises. Didn't dismiss them as imagination. They documented. They recorded. They tracked patterns. And that documentation changed everything. Led to justice. Led to safety. Led to discoveries. Led to understanding. The lesson from these families is simple: strange noises might not be random. Might not be meaningless. Might be trying to tell you something. And if you document them, if you track them, if you pay attention, you might discover what they mean. You might solve a mystery. You might prevent a disaster. You might find something that's been hidden. Or you might just understand that your home is trying to communicate. Trying to protect you. Trying to reveal its secrets. These families kept years of documentation. Recordings that proved the sounds were real. Journals that showed patterns. Evidence that couldn't be dismissed. And when something finally happened, when the truth was revealed, that documentation made all the difference. Made the impossible provable. Made the unbelievable undeniable. So if you hear strange noises in your home, don't ignore them. Document them. Record them. Track them. You might discover they're nothing. Just old pipes and settling floors. But you might discover there's something. Something important. Something that's been trying to get your attention for years. Waiting for you to listen. Waiting for you to understand. Waiting for you to document it long enough to see the pattern. To hear the message. To discover what happens after years of strange noises finally reveal their purpose.